The greatest masculine advice your father never gave you. There is no denying that the world is a bad place. It makes no difference how old you are. There are things your father should have warned you about. The truth is as follows. The world treats men as though they have no value. Every man aspires to be respected and to fulfill his potential, but it's challenging. You should be aware of the fact that you will never persuade someone to appreciate you. Therefore, stop begging for respect. It's sad. You must work for it. The world is a true hell for a guy who works without direction or purpose. It's essential to develop a moral code and a set of guiding principles if you want to not just survive, but also prosper. As a man, the first thing you should know is that you and your entire group of pals will change as time goes on. So try giving value similarities a higher priority than social life when choosing new mates. Don't let your career peers make you feel inadequate. Don't feel pressured to pick up a hobby you don't enjoy. We all work at our own pace. There are certain things we learn on our own, and others that someone else needs to teach us. Most men become victims in this situation. Most men do not receive this profound guidance from their father. Most people assume that the boy child isn't old enough to have a grown-up conversation. This is nonsense. Nothing compares to being seated and receiving instruction on the do's and don'ts of manhood at the appropriate moment. This is why we'll talk about the greatest masculine advice your father never gave you in today's video. Before we go straight into it, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel to get more amazing content. Let's get into it. 1. Self-control and self-discipline. Self-control and self-discipline are two distinct traits that are mysteriously linked. Deciding to do something we don't want to do but should is a sign of self-discipline. Self-control means resisting the urge to do something we know is wrong. More men are lost and more lives are destroyed than any other character flaw as a result of the absence of one or both of these qualities. Men who lack either of these qualities are more likely to become addicted to gambling, pornography, alcohol, and adultery, all of which are detrimental to their families and soul. As a man, self-control and self-discipline should prevent you from acting in ways in private that you would never do in public. They are character traits that a guy gradually gains via activity, much like a muscle. Typically, a man who lacks self-control in one area of his life also lacks it in other areas. So try not to be a douchebag. As a man, discipline is key. Respect the brother code. 2. Define yourself and your values. Understanding what you have to offer is the foundation for gaining respect. Most people won't bother to investigate further if you act and presume that you won't give anything. You might not immediately recognize your strength when it comes to both our talents and limitations. We frequently have a blind spot. Consider your greatest successes and ask yourself what characteristics contributed to them if you want greater clarity on what yours are. Missing the mark? Ask someone you trust and who is familiar with you well. Never discount a success as being too tiny or unimportant. As you progress to bigger things, you can build on the ideals that assisted you in fixing up your garage or helping your brother study for his SATs. Knowing who you are will help you create an identity that you can express through your appearance and initial impression. It will be obvious if you concentrate on what makes you different from others and what matters to you most. Finally, remember to define who you are rather than who you are not. The presence of a solid foundation of core values triumphs over the lack of fear, frailty, or any other normal human emotion that society may despise. You'll still go through these things if you're being honest with yourself. Just remember that the power is yours to decide to rise above them. 3. Man has emotional and passionate control. Real men restrain their passions, whether they are single or married. He safeguards women and children rather than abusing them. He respects, loves, and treats his wife with dignity, while keeping his distance from women who are not his wife. He avoids looking at sexual photos. He safeguards the virginity and innocence of a single woman. He is not a jerk who is just known for his actions below the waist. He is a man with a conscience, a head, and a heart. 4. Be reliable. You should be able to accept responsibility for issues that arise in your life as a man. That entails doing what needs to be done and refraining from creating excuses. Here are a few specifics. Be punctual. Be wise with your own time and demonstrate to others that you respect theirs. If you struggle with being on time, commit to establishing a system that works for you. There are many solutions available. Before others can rely on you, you must be able to rely on yourself, which you cannot do while you are stressed out. Organize and simplify your life. Consider carefully where you frequently fail to deliver, then concentrate on addressing and resolving those issues. You don't have to be flawless, and you shouldn't anticipate a miraculous change in a matter of days. Hold yourself accountable and maintain your attention on continual, small but steady improvement. People nearby will notice. 5. Take charge. Do something. The only thing you can truly control when it comes to your objectives and life ambitions is yourself. That might not seem like too much strength when you're up against insurmountable obstacles or are subjected to extreme misery. It amounts to quite a bit. You have a tremendous amount of self-control. Always choose to conduct yourself in a manly manner. You can always make a little step in the direction of your goal. It is always an option to decide not to be a victim. Be sincere with yourself about your goals in life and what it will take to fulfill them. If you've made decisions you later regret, realize that even though you can't go back, you can still move forward. 6. Learn life skills. Your mom and dad aren't here to clean up your messes or fix the stuff you break. You must educate yourself on how. Seriously, you need certain fundamental abilities to be a man. A fundamental aspect of adulthood is being ready for anything life may throw at you. Start by learning how to be ready for crises. Enroll in first aid or survival courses. Become CPR certified and work with your family to develop an emergency plan. You'll feel better about yourself knowing that you can take charge when all hell breaks loose, even if you never utilize what you learn. Naturally, not every issue you run up against will be an emergency. You'll also want to develop your independence and preparedness in daily life. Know how to do your laundry without destroying your clothes. Keep your home tidy. And be able to feed yourself from scratch if necessary. Work on learning some fundamental mending techniques as well. Can you turn off a toilet that is overflowing? Take care of a blown fuse. Install a shelf. 7. Be the bigger man. Conflict is a natural element of existence. A lot of people will disagree with you. Some people will be rude to you. Some could potentially harm you. But regardless of how severely you are harmed, it is ultimately up to you how to respond. Choosing your battles wisely is a crucial aspect of being a man. Even while they may irritate you, some folks are just minding their own thing. Follow suit. Some people merely want to take advantage of you. Neglect them. You'll have to resist some of them. You'll be happy you didn't waste your energy on little annoyances when you finally meet them. Without being upset and reacting, you may be powerful and stand your stance. You can have compassion without being a wimp. You must choose what to fight for and what to give up, and you have the power to do so. Gentlemen, act now. Don't just sit back and wait for your objectives to come to pass. Being a man involves assessing your goals for the future honestly and pursuing them with all of your might. So there you have tips on the greatest masculine advice your father never gave you. If you loved this video, please make sure to like and drop a comment to let us know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll talk to you again soon.